Hello guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I hope you are fit and fine, and if I'm audible, just let me know. Good morning everybody. Right. If I'm audible, just let me know. Audible. Thank you so much. Right. So we're going to begin our session for today, right? So this was the most important news that we have coming from Gaza, that there has been a strike that has killed a lot of civilians at a hospital in Gaza, right? And we can say this particular attack that has been conducted on a hospital in Gaza, we do not know. There has been accusations going on. Israel has put the blame on Palestinian Jihad, and when we talk about Hamas, Hamas has put the blame on Israel, right? So our Prime Minister has also expressed anger and outrage at the attack because it has killed a lot of innocent civilians, right? So there's a practically, we can say, the whole situation is going hayward, and there is no solution that is coming up right now if we talk about the situation of Gaza. So urgent attention needs to be taken care of this particular situation that is there in Gaza, so that in the upcoming times we were able to solve this particular situation. There has to be a agreement that has to be brokered by somebody between Israel and Palestine, between Israel and Hamas, so that this particular innocent killing could be stopped, because what we have witnessed in Gaza yesterday, it is unprecedented and it shall not be allowed, because it has killed a lot of innocent civilians, right? So ये न्यूज़ तो चली रही है, और हमने इजराइल हमास की बात करें, गाजा स्ट्रिप की बात करें, तो काफी बार डिस्कस भी कर दिया है. आई थिंक यू आर अवेयर ऑफ द सिचुएशन विच इज हैपनिंग इन इजराइल एंड Palestine, right? So no need to more go into this particular topic, and we have already covered the map as well. I hope you have remembered the map of Israel and Palestine, the West Bank area, the Jordan area, the Lebanon, the Syria and Egypt as well. And Israel has also allowed now Egypt to send certain aid to, or humanitarian aid to, Gaza as well, right? So this is the thing that has been done by Israel, that they have allowed the aid to come to Gaza from the side of Egypt. I hope this basic point is clear to everybody. Okay, now coming to the next thing that is important, directly coming to the editorial page, right? अब यहाँ पे और इतना कुछ important नहीं है, तो हम सीधा डायरेक्ट एडिटोरियल पे आएंगे. सबसे पहला जो एडिटोरियल है हमारे सामने, ये हमने बहुत बार डिस्कस भी किया है, राइट? सो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई नया आर्टिकल है, हमने काफी बार इसको डिस्कस किया है. आज एक बार और डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, सो दैट आपके कंसेप्ट्स जो है एक बार फिर से क्या हो जाएंगे, क्लियर हो जाएंगे, राइट? नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज रिलेटेड टू the explosion of digital uncertainty. Now here the topic which we are witnessing right now, it is related to digital uncertainty. Now what we can understand from this particular terminology, let's try to see. When we talk about digital uncertainty, they are talking about the aspects of artificial intelligence. First of all, they are talking about the aspects of artificial intelligence. So this is the basic thing that we can understand, that here the thing that is being talked about is the artificial intelligence and the uncertainty that is attached with the artificial intelligence. Uncertainty which is there with the artificial intelligence. Now one thing we know, that there are a lot of positives that we can attribute to artificial intelligence, right? You can say we have a lot of advantages if I talk about artificial intelligence, right? आपका ये let's say production के अंदर benefit मिलता है, in medicine field, in science and tech field, in pharmaceuticals. So AI has a lot of advantages when I talk about various fields that we have, various branches we have, and we have seen various applications of artificial intelligence in various purposes as well. You can add one more parameter, that is in the security and defense as well, right? So these are the areas where we see a lot of participation of artificial intelligence that has been deployed by not only by India but also by a lot of the other countries as well. But the problem comes that there are still various uncertainties that are there with artificial intelligence. First of all, the major thing that is there is regulation of artificial intelligence. Regulation of artificial intelligence. And the second thing is related to privacy concerns. These are also the issues that we have witnessed and seen over the past few months, that there are certain issues with privacy as well. The third important thing that we need to understand is that artificial intelligence could be used where you can malign or harm a particular person's reputation as well, right? So we can say it can harm particular person's reputation as well. Next thing we can add on is that we have seen that there are a lot of pornographic things that go on has the use of artificial intelligence as well. So we can say pornographic incidents increase because of these particular purposes. So this thing can also be said about this particular, let's say, concerns that we have artificial intelligence. Then the next thing that we can say is there is not enough प्रोटेक्शन दैट इज बीइंग गिवन. लेट्स से अगर हम बात करते हैं कि एक एथिक्स नहीं है अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की, बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट ऑफ हैकर्स हु कैन यूज द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस फॉर देयर पर्टिकुलर पर्पसेस. सो द प्रॉब्लम इज ऑफ एथिक्स इन artificial intelligence. There we can see the uncertainty. So this is also the point that you can mention in your answers if ever you have to write an answer on artificial intelligence. Then the next major thing that we need to understand is that is the recent case what we have witnessed is in the case of Israel and Palestine. So this is the example that you can use over here in your answer as well. See, इजराइल का हम बात करते हैं कि उनका पूरा एक ड्रोन, लेट्स से एक ड्रोन सिस्टम है. अगर कोई इनकमिंग मिसाइल भी आ रही है तो उसको वो रिटेलिएट कर सकते हैं. 5000 मिसाइल्स वर फायर्ड, आई थिंक सबको पता है इस चीज के बारे में, बट दे वर नॉट एबल टू इंटरसेप्ट ईच एंड एवरीथिंग बिकॉज देयर वर सर्टेन अनसर्टेनिटीज इन द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. जो उनका प्रॉपर डोम बना रखा था जो उनको रिटेलिएट कर सकता था इनकमिंग मिसाइल्स को, इट एक्चुअली फेल्ड व्हिच वाज यूज्ड बाय हमास इन एक्सप्लॉइटिंग द वीकनेस ऑफ द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, राइट? सो वी कैन से इज everything cannot be set upon artificial intelligence because what we have seen in the case of, let's say, अगर हम इजराइल और हमास के बीच में इक्वेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, then we can say आज के टाइम पे अगर हम बात करें हमारा क्रिटिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, let's say you have all, let's say, put a machine into it, you have created an artificial intelligence network, but if try to understand that the anti agents or the non-state actors, if they get the hold, or the enemy we can say get the hold of those particular your critical infrastructure through hacking into your system, then how it would be very much disaster to a particular state or a particular country. So as a result we can say critical installations at the helm of artificial intelligence are also at a big danger. क्रिटिकल इंस्टॉलेशंस अगर आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के ग्रिप के अंदर है तो उनके ऊपर डेंजर है बिकॉज दे कैन अट्रैक्ट प्राइवेसी एंड दे कैन अट्रैक्ट हैकिंग एज वेल फ्रॉम द नॉन स्टेट एक्टर्स. एंड वी हैव सीन द रीसेंट केसेस वेयर वी हैव सीन एम्स की अगर हम बात करें उनका सिस्टम हैक हो गया था, एंड इवन इफ आई टेल यू देयर वाज अ सर्टेन हैकिंग दैट वाज बीइंग डन ऑन आवर डिफेंस सिस्टम एज वेल, ऑन आवर इंटेलिजेंस फोर्सेस सिस्टम एज वेल, राइट? सो बिकॉज व्हेन यू पुट एवरीथिंग ऑनलाइन, then it creates a lot of problem for the, let's say, country, because artificial intelligence has lot of uncertainties as well. And the most important thing that we can attribute, that is the uncertainty or the big uncertainty that is coming out, is we have tried to put a lot of human emotions into a particular machine, but it is not able to replicate a human mind or a human emotion, right? So we can say one of the most important thing that we need to understand is that there is lack of human emotion that is there, or consciousness that is there in the artificial intelligence, right? So these are the certain points that you can use in your answers when you have to write any topic on artificial intelligence. I will tell you one example where certain students, mostly the girl students of a particular school of Chandigarh, were basically their photos were used, or their photos were taken from various let's say social media, and it was used to malign their image by certain hackers, and it was, let's say, a very much a derogatory thing that was being done from the photos of the students that were posted online. So this is the important thing that we need to understand, that yes, artificial intelligence is good, we have seen the importance of artificial intelligence, but it could be used to malign a particular person's reputation or a particular person's image as well. I hope this point is clear to everybody, and if ever you have to write an article on or an answer on artificial intelligence, you can use these points and mention the current examples as well. That will help you to enhance your answer and value, let's say, put certain value to your answer as well, right? Okay, the next article is related to the BRI at 10, some hits, many misses. Now let's try to discuss what is they are talking about, right? So one of the thing we need to understand is that this article is talking about Belt and Road Initiative. I think सबको पता है Belt and Road Initiative के बारे में, right? Now this Belt and Road Initiative had been started by China first of all. ये स्टार्ट किसने किया, पहले तो ये पता होना चाहिए कब स्टार्ट, चाइना ने स्टार्ट किया, कौन से ईयर में स्टार्ट किया गया था, 2013 के अंदर this Belt and Road Initiative was started. Now the most important thing that we need to understand from this particular perspective is that why China felt the need that they need to have this particular Belt and Road Initiative, right? इसके दो components थे, one would be the terrestrial part or the land route and second would be the maritime silk route, right? So these are the two important components of this particular Belt and Road Initiative. Now what was the need that China felt that they need to have a certain alternative route apart from the existing route that was already there. If let's say China had to trade with Europe, China had to trade with the West Asian countries, then there has been a particular Malacca Strait and you have Suez Canal as well, right? So these were the existing conditions that were there before China, let's say अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं before 2013. But one of the thing that you need to understand is let's consider it from the context of China. अगर China के context से समझें, China was at that particular time a very booming country. A lot of production was increasing, right? So they wanted that their products need to be going to the other markets of various countries, right? And in that particular scenario, let's say if the particular very thin Malacca Strait is choked by the other countries or the enemies of the China, then it would have suffered a lot of serious blow to its future prospects, है ना? अगर हम बात करें मलक्का स्ट्रेट है तो आपने देखा होगा, अगर मैप आपने देखा होगा, मलक्का स्ट्रेट बहुत ही, अगर हम बात करें नैरो चोक ऑफ लेट्स से वाटर स्ट्रिप है, अगर उसको चोक कर दिया जाता बाकी कंट्रीज के द्वारा, then it would have created a lot of problem to whom? Lot of problem to China. Plus China at that time we can say was producing a lot, right? And China had the aspirations from becoming a regional power to a global power. So Chinese had ambitions to raise from regional power to global power. This all united together and China felt that they need to have a certain other land and the silk or the let's say maritime road, let's say infrastructure that they need to build so that in the upcoming years their production is increasing. They want to go from regional to global power, so they need to have more and more infrastructure that could be used for their particular purpose. So ऐसा हम ऐसा road initiative बनाएंगे जहां पे हम अपने रोड्स बिल्ड करेंगे, रेलवेज बिल्ड करेंगे, ठीक है, पोर्ट्स बिल्ड करेंगे, in order to make sure that we are having presence in other countries and we are able to let's say export our surplus production to the other parts of the various countries. So in this particular context, China started its Belt and Road Initiative way back in 2013. So this is the important point that we need to understand, right? So one of the things that we get is the situation that propelled China to make sure that it had its Belt and Road Initiative. So I can say and I can categorize it as the situation that propelled China to start its Belt and Road Initiative, right? So this is the basic thing that we can understand. Now the article focuses on what are the hits and what are the misses related to this Belt and Road Initiative. Now what we have seen is कि चाइना ने काफ़ी ज़्यादा डेवलपमेंट करी है, श्रीलंका की बात करें, पाकिस्तान की बात करें, बाकी हमारी जो सेंट्रल एशियन कंट्रीज हैं उनकी बात करें, वेस्टर्न एशियन कंट्रीज हैं उनकी बात करें. So China has a lot of good relations as well. So China has built roads, China has built railways. So China has done a lot. But one of the thing that you need to understand is अभी भी अगर हम बात करें, चाइना का इनिशिएटिव तो स्टार्ट हुआ, बट नाउ कंट्रीज आर हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ एप्रीहेंशंस टुवर्ड्स दिस बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव. व्हाई? जिस पर्सपेक्टिव से ये इनिशिएटिव आया था, मान लीजिए कहीं पे let's say China would be building roads and railways, there would be generation of employment. If there would be generation of employment, there would be let's say eradication of poverty, eradication of hunger. But still the reports of the World Bank clearly says that there has not been any that much thing which has been achieved in context of reduction in employment and reduction in poverty in the areas where the China has started its project. Rather चाइना ने जहां जहां पे प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट किए हैं, चाइना ने जहां जहां पे प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट किए, whether it is the Pakistan, whether it is Sri Lanka, now you have seen the situation what has happened in Sri Lanka and what has happened in Pakistan, right? So one thing you need to know that China ने पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड कश्मीर से उन्होंने अपना एक कॉरिडोर निकाला है टुवर्ड्स, लेट्स से अगर हम बात करें ग्वादर की तरफ, दैट इज द चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर. I hope those who have been preparing they know about it. That has been objected by India as well, right? India ने उसे object भी किया है because it is going through the part that is an integral part of India, that is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor, through which China has tried to build roads, railways, right? So they have created a lot of investment and a lot of infrastructure as well. But the problem that has now become a serious cause of concern in context of this Belt and Road Initiative that is being highlighted is, so we can say the problems, right? तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? सबसे बड़ी जो मेजर प्रॉब्लम है अगर हम बात करें, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ डेट ट्रैप दैट द कंट्रीज आर फेसिंग. प्राइम एग्जांपल यू कैन गिव इज ऑफ श्रीलंका, राइट? So this is a particular thing that you can understand that how Sri Lanka has been debt trapped by the Chinese investment. अगर हम हम्बनटोटा पोर्ट की भी बात करते हैं, how Chinese economy और Chinese projects have let's say squeezed the in Sri Lankan economy. So it has created a debt trap situation in Sri Lanka. Then we can say still there is lot of unemployment and poverty in Pakistan as well, right? Unemployment and poverty in the areas where China has created its investment. So these are the certain things that are being faced or the misses that we can attribute it to Belt and Road Initiative. Plus USA की बात कर लें, plus हम अगर यूरोप की बात कर लें, plus हम इंडिया की भी बात कर लें, all of these countries have objected to what? They have objected to this Belt and Road Initiative. And India's opposition is quite evident because that Belt and Road Initiative passes through China Pakistan Economic Corridor. क्योंकि वो तो हमारे CPEC के थ्रू पास कर रहा है, तो वो पर्टिकुलर जो हमारी रिजेंटमेंट है अगेंस्ट द Belt and Road Initiative, that is quite evident. So the third thing we can say is India, USA and other countries have objected to Belt and Road Initiative. So that is why now these countries at G20 takeaway meeting that they have said is they want to have a certain other corridor that they want to build, that we can understand very easily. That was announced in G20, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. I hope you understand this particular point because this is very, very important. I hope you get the essence of this particular article, right? Okay, yes, debt diplomacy, very nice. So this is the important thing that we need to understand, right? So China ने बहुत सारी कोशिश करी है कि चाइना अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ा सके, चाइना अपने आप को रीजनल पावर से ग्लोबल पावर बढ़ा सके, और चाइना ने किया भी है अगर हम बात करें कि अपने आप को रीजनल पावर से ग्लोबल पावर तक एक्सपेंड किया भी है, बट दैट हैज कम एट द let's say exploitation of other countries now, which the countries have totally realized. I think if I am right, Italy had earlier agreed to Belt and Road Initiative, but now they are thinking of withdrawing from Belt and Road Initiative, right? So this is the essence that we need to understand from the perspective of China. What are their hits and what are their misses? Their misses are actually India's points, that why we are objecting to this Belt and Road Initiative. I hope this point is clear to everybody, right? Chaliye. Now, the next article, we have already discussed this a lot as well, right? Fear factor, not fear factor that comes on, let's say, colors, right? So, khatron ke khiladi, this is food and fuel prices may yet play spoil spot in the inflation battle. Now, here the question is related to inflation, and there is a particular situation that in the upcoming times there could be rise in food and fuel inflation that could have a lot of impact on the overall inflation target that we have by the government of India. So just let me quickly give you a brief introduction related to this particular thing, that one of the things that we need to understand is when I talk about inflation, there is a particular tolerance range that has been set up by the government of India in consultation with RBI. That tolerance range is 2 to 6%, or you can say 4 plus minus 2%. This is the tolerance range that has been set by the government of India in consultation with RBI. Now, one of the things that we need to understand from this perspective is कि गवर्नमेंट सोचती है यार हम ना इन्फ्लेशन को इसके ब्रैकेट के अंदर रखेंगे, बट एवरीथिंग इज नॉट इन द हैंड्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. देयर आर सर्टेन सीजनल चेंजेस, क्लाइमेटिक वेरिएशंस, मॉनसूनल चेंजेस दैट कैन हैव एन एडवर्स इफेक्ट ऑन द food and fuel inflation in the country. फूड इन्फ्लेशन तो आप समझ सकते हो कि सिर्फ नेशनल फैक्टर्स नहीं होते, इंटरनेशनल फैक्टर्स भी होते हैं। जैसे रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर के बाद अगर हम बात करें, फूड इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ी और फ्यूल इन्फ्लेशन भी देखने को मिली है, राइट। सो दीज आर द सर्टेन पॉइंट्स दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, दैट अ लॉट ऑफ इंटरनेशनल इंसिडेंट्स एंड इवेंट्स आल्सो has a major role to play in food and fuel inflation. And when we carry out or basically conduct our inflation or calculate our inflation, it is calculated on consumer price index combined, and this consumer price index combined is known as the headline inflation. It is known as the headline inflation, and that headline inflation has in its constituents that is food and fuel inflation. So food and fuel inflation plays a very important role in determining the headline inflation. So yes, there is still a fear factor that might be in the upcoming times. We can see the increase in the prices of food and fuel, and that might take the inflation levels beyond 6%. Very important. It can take the inflation levels beyond 6%. I hope this point is clear to everybody. I will tell you two or more points. CPI combined, that is rural plus urban, is very important. It is used for calculating the headline inflation. Its base year we can say is 2012, right? इसका बेस ईयर क्या है? 2012 है. दूसरी चीज जो इंपॉर्टेंट है इसके रिलेटेड, जो गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज का डियरनेस अलाउंस होता है, राइट, दैट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन जो मार्केट के अंदर है, दैट इज ऑल्सो बेस्ड ऑन कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स. सो आई कैन से डियरनेस अलाउंस is also based on consumer price index. So you can write as well, dearness allowance is based on consumer price index. So these are the important facts that we need to understand related to inflation tolerance range, headline inflation. Food and fuel inflation plays a very important role, and CPI base year is 2012, right? So these were the important news that we need to understand. Okay. अच्छा, कल एक आर्टिकल था. So a student had a particular say कि सर वो एक बार समझा देना. So that was a very simple article that was related to SDGs में synergy होनी चाहिए, right? Now the important thing we need to understand that particular thing related to synergies is, मान लीजिए कि हम कोई एक particular SDG को implement कर रहे हैं कोई regional level पे. मान लीजिए हमने बोला कि हम ना renewable energy को promote करना चाहते हैं. What we want to promote renewable energy. अगर हम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी को प्रमोट करना चाहते हैं तो हमने बोला हम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन की तरफ शिफ्ट करेंगे. आज की जो हमारी नई पॉलिसी है, नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन पॉलिसी, इफ वी वांट टू शिफ्ट टुवर्ड्स ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, ऑब्वियसली इसका अब इंपैक्ट और भी एसडीजीज के ऊपर पड़ रहा है. कैसे? अगर आप रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हो तो आप क्लीन एनर्जी की तरफ जा रहे हो. क्लीन एनर्जी की तरफ जा रहे हो तो एयर पोल्यूशन कम हो रहा है. एयर पोल्यूशन कम हो रहा है, कार्बन एमिशंस कम हो रही हैं. उसी के साथ क्या हो रहा है, आपके जो क्लाइमेट गोल्स हैं पेरिस एग्रीमेंट के अंदर वो भी अचीव हो रहे हैं. So this kind of synergy is very important. जब आप एक लेवल पे कोई काम कर रहे हो, मेक श्योर करो कि उसमें एक synergy जो एक इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, so you try to take it from the local level to a national state level to a national level. So policies have to be synchronized. If you are implementing a particular SDG goal, कि अगर हम कोई particular SDG goal implement कर रहे हैं, उसका impact बाकी चीजों के ऊपर कैसा पड़ेगा. I hope this point is clear to everybody. So there needs to be synchronization of the policies that would help us in achieving the sustainable development goals. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to achieve the sustainable development goals because you require a lot of synchronization. If we see, as we just happened, कि हमने देखा है कि बहुत important है आपस में synergies होना. I hope this point is clear to everybody. Yes, we shall avoid silos approach. We shall not work in silos, but in fact, we need to make sure that there is a coherent approach which takes into each and every state actor when we are trying to implement sustainable development goals. And I'm saying you one thing, if you are appearing in 2024, this is the most expected question in the mains examination because there has been review of the critical estimation of the sustainable development goals, that whether countries would be able to achieve them by 2030 or not. आप अपने मेंस के नोट शेयर कर सकते हो. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, I had given my last attempt of UPSC in 2016-17, right? पहली बात तो. So it was a long way back. I don't think my notes are updated from that perspective. अगर आप बात कर रहे हैं कि मैं उस चीज से आपको दूं, right? So one thing you need to understand, whoever has put the question and this doubt, देखो यार, पक्की पकाई मेहनत पे उसके ऊपर वो नहीं होता कि भाई उसके ऊपर डोंट टेक फ्रॉम दैट, डू इट बाय योर, खुद से करो, अपने नोट्स बनाओ, तब उसका मजा आएगा और तब एग्जाम क्लियर होगा, किसी के नोट से एग्जाम क्लियर नहीं होता. चलो, मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, the measure of the working woman, we have already discussed this a lot, right? So there needs to be a participation of the women, right? अब मेरे ख्याल से और ज्यादा कोई इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज है नहीं आज के न्यूज़पेपर में, फिर भी एक बार देख लेते हैं. इंडिया लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स बनाएगा, इंडिया यूएस से डील साइन करेगा, ड्रोन्स खरीदेगा, राइट? और यहाँ पे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. दिस होल वर्ल्ड पेज इज रिलेटेड टू गाजा के रिलेटेड, सॉरी, ये सारा गाजा के रिलेटेड चल रहा है जो इजराइल के साथ. दिस इज कि एमएसपी रबी क्रॉप्स की इंक्रीज करी है फार्मर ने, दैट द कैबिनेट कमिटी ऑन इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स, बट इट इज नॉट जस्टिफाइबल अकॉर्डिंग टू द फार्मर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड दे वांट मोर इंक्रीज इन द एमएसपी ऑफ द रबी क्रॉप्स, राइट? So I hope this is it guys, and if you have any doubt you can ask me, and that's it guys. हाँ जी, तो ये आर्टिकल्स इंपॉर्टेंट है, मैं पीडीएफ में कन्वर्ट कर देता हूँ आप लोगों के लिए एक बार. Okay, so what's the date today? 19th. Right. So thank you so much guys, and we will see you tomorrow same time 9 a.m. Till then, take care. Bye bye. What is headline inflation? I've already told you headline inflation is that is making the headlines in the newspaper, CBI combined, right? Okay. Tell me about. ओके सी, मैंने ना अब ये जजमेंट, yesterday I was busy, I was had to go, I was outside the town, so I wasn't able to see this whole news related to same sex marriage. One thing I have got to know, पिछले ट्यूसडे को न्यूज आई थी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट कि वो उन्होंने मैरिज तो अलाउ नहीं करी है, बट दे हैव गिवन सर्टेन अनदर प्रोविजंस, राइट? सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज, देयर हैज बीन अ वीडियो दैट हैज बीन अपलोडेड बाय अनुज सर एंड दीक्षांत सर रिलेटेड टू दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग. यू कैन वॉच इट ऑन यूट्यूब इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट रिलेटेड टू, राइट? सो अभी मैंने उतने डिटेल में नहीं पढ़ा है ताकि मैं आपको उसमें बता सकूं. I have not seen the judgment. Okay, thank you so much guys, see you tomorrow same time 9 a.m. till then, take care.